And good morning from Scotty Ray and Candace. And I was just telling Candace that I made the mistake of bragging yesterday. Yeah, pollen. Yeah, anytime you end up eating your words every single time you go to bragging about something.
I know. I mean, pollen, though, it smothers me. If I get out there and I'm in it too long, I mean, I just start feeling like I can feel my eyes starting to just kind of get puffy.
Yeah. Well, I done something and it shook it, like I had a jacket. That's what I had laying out. And it got all over and I shook it and it went up in the air. And I have been sneezing ever since.
I mean, if you think about it, I can even feel it on my lips, like in my lipstick sometimes if I'm outside. We were at baseball practice the other day with Alden, and I was like that. But if you think about how much you get on your tennis shoes and on your clothes and it's all over everything, you're breathing that in. So, I mean.
You literally have to take a water hose before you leave home and rinse your windshield off to where you can see out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's rough. Now, the good thing about the weather is coming. That's going to help wash a bunch of this away that's out there. So keep it in mind. There is severe weather coming. And let's do a little bit of talking about severe weather as we get started. In case you missed earlier this morning when I done a weather forecast of what is up and coming. Of course, our forecast brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative. As we look at today, did you notice the wind's coming in?
Mm-hmm, it is. And I went through rain a while ago.
Yeah, we got it. We'll look at that on radar also. Right here is our wind chances today. We're at a level 1 today with the wind. Jackson area is at a level 2. So we've got gusts of 30 to 40 miles an hour. And that's strong, which means your garbage can's going to be pushed around everywhere. Yeah. Mine are out by the road already. And they may not be there by the time the garbage truck gets here.
If you got a trampoline.
Yeah.
I have seen, we have a little it's not a mini trampoline. It's a small trampoline.
For exercising?
No, it's not one of those. It's like a little trampoline, but it's smaller than the real big one.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like a mid-size.
Yeah.
That thing went, one day we were watching and the weather was bad.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was just like it was there 1 second and it was gone the next.
Did it tear it up?
It didn't tear it up. I'm surprised, but it flew all the way down by our pond.
Because y'all know what the worst thing about a trampoline getting damaged? Having to put a new one together.
Oh,
those springs. Yeah. Have you ever done it?
It's a wonder I have teeth left. Yes.
Yes. I mean, you got pliers and you're pulling, trying to hook it in that last one. Have mercy. I forget who suckered me into coming over when they were doing that, but
I remember when we had one when I was younger. I was a teenager, and of course they weren't probably made as good back then. We'd be jumping in a spring and boom, wow.
Yeah, I've seen that.
So I wonder if we have eyes or anything.
Back in the day, they didn't have the guards to where if you bounced off, it would catch you and throw you back on. It was just you went in the yard.
Well, ours was like a rectangular shape, and it had a hole in each corner where you could sit and put your legs down through.
And then you'd fall through that hole.
Oh, yeah. So, anyway.
Trampolines, there's something else.
But you better turn them over is what I'm getting at if it gets too windy, because they will fly.
And let me ask this, since you brought that up, of getting hurt as a kid. Did you have what they called a pogo stick?
I did have
that little thing
stick
that you jumped on? How many times your face hit the concrete on that?
I never fell.
Really?
Yeah, I never fell. Now, I couldn't jump as long as some people could, but
I think that was the only time we took Madison to the hospital. Was I fell on one when I was a kid, but she face planted.
Oh, really?
We had to take her to the hospital over that one. It was a pretty rough one. As we look at what's going to happen today with weather, it's going to be to the southwest of us. Now, again, this is just to the west of Shibuya. This is going to be down southwestern Clark County. So be careful in that area if you're going to be in there today. As we look at this, Jasper County, Heidelberg, those areas will be in this. We can look at it on radar and zoom in exactly where. But that's where the thunderstorms are today. And that'll be between 10 and 3 o'clock this afternoon for rough weather southwest of Meridian. Tomorrow, the chances increase. We move to the marginal risk tomorrow, Jackson area 2. Mm-hmm. And that's going to be in the afternoon hours into Wednesday night. Now, can that be moved up a little bit? Yeah. Let's look at what's going to happen Thursday, our biggest concern of the week. This is where tornadic activity could happen, most likely will. Severe weather, we're at a 3 out of 5. Can this be moved up to a 4 by tomorrow before Thursday? Absolutely. Tornadoes are going to be likely. Winds of 70 miles an hour and golf ball size hail once again mixed in with this. And the National Weather Service has not put a timeline on it, but I would, at this point, and it will change, put it from noon until about midnight. Now, it'll be narrowed down the closer we get, but that's where we're at right now. So keep that in mind. Let's go to radar and pull this up, Candace, and show a few things with that, where the rain is right now. That's not the right button. Let me close that. All right, here's radar this morning. We do have some light showers starting to move in. South of here, this is Wayne County, Jasper County, starting to get that rain coming in, moving in on the Heidelberg area. Back around Jackson, a lot of rain. To the southwest of Jackson, southwest, this is what we're going to be watching here. That's going to bring this bad weather to this area right through here. Now, again, it should be ending the horrible weather right along in here. But it's Mother Nature and can move on up. We never know. As we look at this back in Louisiana, look how rough this is. It's several storms building. Right now it's a tornado warning, and I did not know that. Let's look what we've got here. National Weather Service has issued a tornado warning for the Lake Charles area in central Landry Parish until 8:45. Another 5 minutes left on that. 8:16, possible tornado located over Lotwell or near Church Point. So this one is getting ready to expire in the next 4 minutes. We'll see if it extends. But that was a pretty big area there. Mm-hmm. Right there is where this is Baton Rouge. This is where the tornado warning was. So as we see, this is going to be producing these today. Out to our west in Louisiana. Let's see what we got here. Another tornado warning here. And this is until 9 o'clock. This is for Cameron Parish, southwest Louisiana, northwestern Vermilion Parish. Louisiana names are a little tougher for me. A few moments ago, radar indicated a thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located 11 miles north of Rockefeller Wildlife Range, moving to the northeast at 40 miles an hour. So as radar indicated, it does not mean it's on the ground, but there are two right now tornado warnings in Louisiana as this heads towards us. Due west of Baton Rouge. So if you're watching in that area this morning, use caution. Treat this storm as very severe. And again, this is going to be coming up through here. So we do see the potential of this thing turning bad for us today. All right, as we look at the severe weather for today, this is what they're predicting, and this is what I was talking about in Clark County, right here in this area here, the Utica area. And that goes into the Heidelberg area here through Jasper and then on into Smith County across there. Jones County and the Laurel, Hattiesburg area down through here. Let's go ahead and move to tomorrow and look at that severe weather. This is, I messed that up, didn't I? This is for tomorrow. The worst of the weather should be in Jackson. As you zoom in on this, this is Morton. It'll be just past there before you get to Brandon and Pelahatchie. That will be rough tomorrow. As we move to the worst of the weather this week, let's pull that up. And this is for Thursday, where we are expecting tornadoes. Look at the large area of this here. This goes from Nashville up in the Murfreesboro area all the way down to the Hattiesburg area and west into Louisiana at Ruston and then east over to Birmingham. So there's a large area that we could have tornadoes. And again, they're saying that this could possibly be long-track tornadoes with this tomorrow, which is bad. So yes. Weather plan.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't get bad. I mean, I think we kind of dodged it the other day.
We did. Alabama, Mississippi got a few, but not many didn't do. No life was lost, which was great. But Alabama got the brunt of that last storm, without a doubt. So what's on your agenda today? Football helmet? What's out there for you?
I'm just going to work. That's about it. I got work, and then I got to go run a few errands after work. So busy.
It is, and this is.
What about you?
Let's see. Weather.
Yeah, you're gonna be weathering it all day.
It'll be that I'll be tracking weather, and I've got to go see a few clients today. This, that, and the other. So I'll be out and about. But tomorrow, moving forward, I'll be glued to the studio because we do run that risk. And this morning, I'll watch this. I won't go anywhere till we know exactly what's going to happen today.
Yeah. If you have to be out on the roads, though, be very careful because they're starting to get slick, And
as
like
you
when
do,
it doesn't rain and then it rains. It's just,
and you drive an SUV, which is that wind with 30 to 40 mile an hour gust. Yeah. You've been there.
Oh, yeah. It's a lot different than driving that car,
Yes.
When you're lower down and, But I usually drive slower when it's I mean, obviously, when it's wet roads, though, so just be very careful.
That is the best way to do that. So drive slow, get there safely. Isn't that what your mama used to say?
Yeah.
Let's go to a few comments this morning. Charlene Gaddy, good morning, y'all. Glad to have you here. Dean Baskin, also Joyce Godwin, thank you for our weather update. You're welcome there, and that's that Murfreesboro area there that's going to be getting a little bit tomorrow. We'll watch that as well. Kathy Bounds is up.
Good morning.
And Linda Culpepper, look here. She's hoping we have a wonderful Tuesday.
We hope you have a wonderful Tuesday.
Who was it? Was it Saturday Night Live that used to say wonderful? No, that was Lawrence Welk. Wonderful, wonderful. I could remember who used to do that. I had that. Who was the guy on Saturday Night Live? Father Saducci. You remember him?
Well, I just remember Rosanna Dana.
And that was
the old school Saturday
what's his
Night
name's
Live.
wife, wasn't it? That was in Silver Streak.
Yeah, the Wilder.
Gene Wilder.
Mm-hmm. She was funny now.
She was. The best part I think Gene ever played would had to have been Blazing Saddles. Mm-hmm. Funniest movie I ever watched. It was hilarious.
Look, maybe one day I'll do the show talking like Rosanna Dana.
I wish you luck. I couldn't do it.
Funny. Mm-hmm.
That really was before anything was really too political. They made it was equal if they done any political back then.
Right, and it was funny.
Yeah.
I mean, what happened to having a personality and a sense of humor?
Yeah.
You know.
And if you remember, Three Wild and Crazy Guys with Steve.
Yeah.
What's his name? The Jerk.
Steve Martin.
Mm-hmm. And then Eddie Murphy. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah. I've always liked Eddie Murphy. I just think he's the funniest thing. So.
And I remember him talking about the skit that he done. If you're ever going through Harlem and you're fisting to get robbed and you got a gold chain, he said, put it around your lip and sneeze. And he said, they'll leave you alone. But he was funny back in the day.
Yeah. I mean, I miss laughing. You know.
Yeah.
I like to laugh, and I don't know.
I agree with
I need
that.
to watch some old episodes of the Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, and they're out there. You can watch them on
I need
YouTube.
to pull them up
I watched the other night. I was up here working, and I watched a Hee Haw from 1974 to keep myself entertained.
Yeah,
it was good. Had Donna Fargo on it and a few others.
I'd much rather watch stuff like that than some of this stuff, this reality stuff. You know?
Yeah.
We got some drama in our own lives. We don't need to see everybody else's drama.
So, are you a big fan of that Atlanta Housewives and all those Atlanta those shows?
I'm ashamed to say, but yeah, I do watch those sometimes. But I have to just in the middle of it, I'll just turn it off because it's just bickering back and forth and cussing, and I just can't. I don't even want to listen to it. You know.
Used to. A cuss word was a very light one.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, I think we all know what you really got to watch what your kids get around.
Well, I mean, those shows, I mean, I do watch them sometimes, but like I said, if it's like a storyline to it, but if it's just constant fussing, I don't even know why I watch it though. I mean, because like I said, it's total drama.
You're after the fight. See who's going to grab her by the hair.
Yeah, I just finally just turn it off.
Does that the guy that Grizzly knows best?
Chrisley knows best.
Chrisley. Is he still on the air?
Yes, and now he's funny.
Oh, I got to give the old boy credit.
He is funny. I mean, he's got some funny sayings. So, talking about the other day, I told Scotty Ray we were going to have a little challenge. You know, everybody tell us your Southern sayings, you know, if you have some, you know. Like,
and he's got them, doesn't he?
Oh, he's always using one. I mean, all the time. And so, but anyway, he's funny. I mean, he's really funny. Now, that's a reality show, and some of it seems real scripted, but, you know,
staged.
You can tell, it's staged, but all in all, it's pretty funny.
He does, and him and his mama.
Yeah. Oh, the mama's one of the funniest ones on there because she don't care.
She doesn't.
Says what she thinks.
If this is your first time joining us, welcome. We do appreciate it. If you wouldn't mind, if you wouldn't share our page and invite your friends to be a part of it, I want them here, number one, for the weather that's coming, but join us each day. We usually have something good to talk about and spread the message and tell you a lot of local events that are up and coming. Mm-hmm. I want to say that there is another food drive this week that's going to be, let me see here. I think I got that put.
Is it tomorrow?
I believe so. Let me go down and take a look. I want to say I pulled that up. I got too much stuff here, don't I? Yeah, here we go. This is the food drive. Yeah. It's going to be beginning at 11 a.m. And they said on the Sheriff's Department page that possibly the truck could arrive early. So if you want to arrive a little bit early in case, so we'll watch that. Should that be postponed for any reason, we'll add that.
Okay.
Listen, it was kind of slow today on what went on in history. Merle Haggard was number one on this date for Fight Inside of Me. I think everybody loved that back in 1970, though. That was
before I was born.
51 years ago. Whew. And then Dolly was number one with 9 to 5 on this date. And there's only one other thing. Oh, yeah, that's gone. There was only 2 things that really went on that tied to today.
Did you watch the movie 9 to 5?
Yes.
Yeah.
So who'd you want to be?
I don't know. I didn't put
'Cause
myself
Dolly
in
wrote
anybody's
him.
characters. Oh yeah, I know. I saw him on, I thought that was him, and I might be wrong, but I could swear it was him on that Yellowstone.
Huh, I missed that.
He played Kevin Costner's daddy.
Well, see, I've only seen season 1 so far, so I hadn't moved to the rest.
Well, I could swear it was him. It looked like him, but I didn't know if he was still alive or not. But,
Well, he played Mr. Drysdale on the 1993 version of the Beverly Hillbillies.
Yeah, this man was really old. So
It could have been. I can't remember what his real name is, but I'll check and see if he's still. I thought he had passed, but
I might be wrong. It might just be somebody that favored him. I don't know.
But I have to say,
it looked just like him, and he was very
I
old.
waited way too long, Candace, to jump on the Yellowstone thing. That is a good show.
It is good, and I wish this is another thing.
Yeah, here we go. I know
It would
where
be
you're
just as good to me if they didn't slip the
Sex scenes.
words. Well, not just that, just the F word. Every other word. I mean, it's like too much of that.
It is too much.
Yeah, but I mean, it is a good storyline. It really is, and I think Kevin Costner is the
Director
or producer or something.
One of
like
the two.
that. Yeah.
But you're right. When it first comes on, the daughter, the Beth guy that everybody talks about, she stands up out of a wash tub taking a bath in the front yard, naked as a jaybird.
Yeah.
They didn't have to put that in there.
Yeah.
You could have edited that to where, that's just me. I just don't think you ought to do that. And the cussing needs to go.
Yeah. It's a good storyline, but it definitely is not for children. So
No.
if they're going to be in the room, you need to turn it off or go somewhere else. to watch
That's
it.
right.
But
Let's see. Good
Anyway.
morning to Linda Culpepper. Also, Kathy Bounds is watching. Donna Roseman is up. Tajetta, too. The last storm was a lot of prayers that went forth. It was, Tajetta. Also, Daniel and Beverly Pilgrim watching this morning. Linda Jane is up. How come you're not in the garden, Linda Jane? I think you ought to be out there taking care of things.
Really? Linda Jane?
I'm not sure Linda Jane's got a garden this year. I'm just highly suggesting keep yourself busy, girl.
I think Angie needs a garden.
Oh, Lord, no.
Scotty Ray to work.
Now, I'm going to do some watermelons, but I'm not getting all carried away with everything else this year.
You know what I want to do this year? I want to do pumpkins.
That's good.
The fairy tale pumpkins that you buy, the white ones and the peach colored ones.
When do
the
you
different
plant
colors.
pumpkins?
I don't know, but I need to look that up because I'd love to do that this year.
Okay. Well,
I just think because they're expensive to buy too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So anyway,
a lot of folks learned last year when they were sitting at home during the pandemic, they thought they wanted a garden and they wanted to have chickens. And then after about 3 months ago, they realized why it's higher at the store and maybe it's a little better to go do that.
well, all I'm gonna tell you is if you're gonna plant sweet potatoes ever, just have their own little garden to themselves because they take
over?
your other stuff over. And yes, they do. We had sweet potatoes coming out of our ears.
Gardening tips
Woo!
with Candace.
Yes.
It's on the way. Let's see. Good morning to Mary Odom. Also, Elmer Talbert is watching this morning, and Diane Nestor. Also, thank you for being a part of that.
Good morning.
And the tragedy, and I mentioned this early this morning, of what happened yesterday. You go to the grocery store to get what you need. You hurry in. Maybe you go in to get your medication. And this was the headline throughout yesterday. A gunman kills 10 people, including a police officer in Boulder, Colorado. Awful. As we go down through here, this is the police officer who lost his life. They done the parade last night from there with the body lights and blue all across there. This is the guy that did it. I guess he's in his underwear. Is that what that looks like? And
Like one red sock or a...
Is that a boot like a broken leg?
I don't know. That's what I was wondering if it was like a cast or something on his foot.
That's what it looks like. Or maybe that's blood.
It could be blood.
It's really hard to tell, but
I wonder
that's
what the motive.
they
what
hadn't
his
released
motive-
it.
That's awful.
as you go down through, and again, look at these pictures, and of course that's blurred out there where you can't see. That's where somebody's. I saw pictures earlier that wasn't blurred out and horrific. These lives are changed forever. And this is them saluting him as the body is taken away from the grocery store. These people, I think, were inside shopping. I know these two were, and they made it out, thank heavens. It's lots of pictures there. She was also in the store. When you go into a store, the last thing you think about, and this is, you really, this day and time, need to pay attention to your surroundings and look where exits are, where you could go to get away from somebody. Most stores, I would think, would have an exit door out the back where they load stock. Yeah. If you can get that way, head that way to get out of there. But just pay attention where you are in relation to where exits are and where you could jump behind something. I mean,
that's scary. That's the last place you'd think you would be in harm's way is in the grocery store.
And sickos take advantage of that.
Right. I say that's the last place. You'd think church would be your safest place, but,
we now know that also. But as you can see, the window shot out of the front of the store. It's very detailed here of what.
And how many people? It was
9 people and a police officer. So 10 total souls were lost at that grocery store yesterday. And again, just going in to get their stuff. Just horrible. And there's just tons and tons more pictures of what went on. But they got him. And for whatever reason, he was not shot. I don't know. I guess he gave up pretty easy when they went in. And I'll say this. I posted this last night. I don't know if you saw it on the page. Prayers go out to Texas, a lineman. And we all know the power companies work their heinies off. Up 106 feet, and the bucket fell off. Killed one, and the other's in very serious condition.
I saw that. That is tragic.
It is.
It's awful.
And that'd be the last thing you would think of going up in that bucket is that coming off.
Right. I mean, you'd think that would be a checked and rechecked and a secure thing.
It'll be a mess over that before it's said and done. Tragedy strikes in New York also last night at a nursing home. It caught fire. It was a 200-bed facility. Loss of life period is bad, but we do have one person who died in the fire there at the nursing home. As you look at that blaze.
Yes, it's very tragic that a life was lost, but it's miraculous that there was not more than one.
I know. So that's what went on in New York last night.
Can you imagine having to get all those people out of there in time? I mean, how do you do that?
And then there's so many that can't walk.
Right.
They're bedridden, so to speak.
Right. So thank goodness there wasn't more. Anyway.
That could have been horrifying.
Yes.
As we look to other stories, they're finally admitting in Joe's cabinet and at the White House, there might be really an issue down at the border. And how did this happen? Well, the changing of laws and saying that we're going to change them, it makes people come. The United States is the greatest nation upon this earth for freedom, and people want to be here. And we cannot blame not one soul for wanting to come here. I don't.
I totally understand that. But when you're implementing stuff like when you're telling people to come, that should have been a more thought out thing. That they're going to come by the droves.
Yeah, I don't think he has much thought.
But even the people who surround him, there should have been people who thought about that a little more, in depth and said, oh, this could happen or that could happen. But the fact that they're just they've been dismissing the whole time that there was an issue and they won't let people in. And then they started showing some conditions, showing some film of, some videos of people laying on the floor and, but it's like a guy said this morning on the news, what they're showing you is probably the best case scenario. There's a worst case scenario. You can believe it, somewhere.
And this is what you're looking at inside these places. And they have really fought to keep reporters out to even get these pictures, supposedly. So that's what's going on in Texas. Now, make no mistake, this is a political move by far of letting illegal immigrants in because it will have this will have a huge impact on the next election when they want illegals to be able to vote in the United States, which makes no sense. Yeah. But
they're trying to make them legal though. Yeah. They're trying to go ahead and give them
amnesty to be.
I don't know.
Asylum?
Yeah. But they're trying to let them be legal so they can vote. I mean, that's the whole concept of the whole thing. That's what they're getting at.
You can shake and bake it, but at the end of the day, that's the real truth behind this. And you think,
it's like I said yesterday, there's no limits to how low they'll stoop and go, because look how many children and everybody that's been affected by it. You know, some people probably didn't even make it to the border. They probably lost their life before they even got there.
You know, when you're the shepherd of the flock, you have to look out what's best for your flock. You may realize that there's others out there, but your flock is what matters. And you pay attention to what's going to happen to our taxes, what's going to happen to your Social Security, what's going to happen to your medical. We're headed for something that is not good. And again, I've said it before, we know how in the end times this will end, but this all plays into that.
I mean, it's bound to cause people to be very, like, hard feeling against people.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, you take Americans who work every day, they've been living here all their life, they don't have any health insurance because they can't afford it.
That's correct.
Then you pull these people in. Plus, it's all these rules and regulations about COVID and everything that everybody's been trying to abide by for over a year now, or around, you know. And we're finally kind of feeling like we see the light, and now you're going to let all these people in that could possibly start a whole new pandemic, possibly.
Correct.
You're going to give them free health care, probably, you know. So
They'll probably get unemployment.
Yeah. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Not to mention the jobs that will go away, because, you know, we're losing jobs daily, and then you get more people. The mathematics does not add up.
Yeah. I mean, it's a disgrace is what it is for our government to not handle things any better than what they're doing.
It's spooky,
it is.
to say the very least. So that's what's happening down on the border right now. And we keep our prayers out for that. And I got a text. What was this? To where, let's see where it was a while ago. Breaking: Arizona border town declares state of emergency amid migrants coming in. So for them to issue a state of emergency, it has gotten bad serious.
Well, I watched the mayor of one of those towns. I think it was the mayor or either the sheriff. I think it's the mayor, though. And he was talking about how it was critical right now in their town because there was drugs being moved in. They'd already had drugs being pushed through. There's already crimes being committed, you know, already, you know.
That they didn't have before.
That they saw all this stuff. And two, I mean, I don't know if it's the truth, but they were going to put some of these migrants up in hotels and stuff.
Yes,
Have you seen that? When we've got our, like, military sleeping on the ground.
Oh, and I saw the figure of money that has been allocated for that. Scary. I mean, it was millions.
Yeah, it was
millions,
if not a billion. I mean,
It
it was a bunch of money. Yeah, it was a whole lot of.
And who's going to pay for that? You are. Whoever, you know, anybody listening that pays taxes, you are the one. And that's, you know, that doesn't separate race, color, where you're from, what country.
Right.
If you're an American, you are going to pay for that.
And we've just seen the tip of the iceberg starting to melt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's fixing to trickle on down. We're fixing to start seeing some major,
Issues.
tax stuff going up. So.
I bought gas yesterday for my mother's car, and it usually holds. It was holding, you know, a quarter tank. It hold maybe $18, $20. That was $41 to fill it back up.
It's ridiculous.
Wow.
It's getting
bumping $3 a gallon for.
Yeah.
So there you go. Keep a thought on that, and then oh boy, it's spooky. But, you know, as we turn to groceries, and you want a great place to go, Joe, our close friend there at Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, always has a great deal. And if you're looking for a plate lunch, you just don't want to cook today,
I know.
go visit Joe.
Yes.
Vegetables, meat.
They have the best plate lunch. You need to go and check it out if you hadn't done that.
Those butter beans and black-eyed peas are it on a stick, I promise you. And, of course, they have steak night during the week if you want some of that. Blueberries, got specials on those this week, along with tomatoes. If you're looking for those, $1.39 a pound. You can get the celery sticks if you're a healthy person that loves crunching on things, along with bell peppers to cook with. Oranges, those are good, $3.99 for a 4-pound bag. Plenty of ketchup at 2 for $4 for that 20-ounce, along with self-rising flour. And, of course, cornmeal, $1 a bag for that 2-pound bag. You can get the blue plate, $2.99 for that 30-ounce jar. And also, we got plenty of sugar. If you're looking for the margarine spread, the 15-ounce, $1. You can also get the ice cream we mentioned, $1.79. And when you get into the meats, one of the best meat departments in town, if not the best. Whole pork loin, $1.59 a pound. You got the sirloin tip roast, the Angus beef there, $3.59 a pound. Coca-Cola products along with water. Where? The Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville is where you need to go for all of your savings when it comes to your groceries. Great folks, and you'll enjoy yourself while you're visiting there. As we look at other news stories that come apart, sometimes you have to call the headlines a lie.
Right.
And I think I'm going to go ahead and jump out there and call this a lie. Mm-hmm. I can't believe someone even would attempt to say this.
Oh, yeah.
And this is old news by now, but I had to bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying that where Biden fell going up on Air Force One, the wind did it. Now, he's frail, I know.
Yeah. I saw a thing yesterday said something about, I assume it was supposed to be meant as a joke, you know.
Right.
It said, like, fact check on the picture of him falling.
And there he is there.
Biden he fell by the ground moving, and it was something that was with the climate, and it was caused by Trump.
Yeah.
But that is not a wind blow you down.
There's
fall.
only one other president that took a tumble, and I think he was sick at the time. That was Ford. Failed trying to board Air Force One, and he hurt himself. He tripped. It wasn't that anything was wrong with it. He tripped and hit his head.
Well, I thought Trump kind of stumbled, and Biden made fun of him.
He did. He wasn't coming off Air Force One. He was coming down some steps with another world leader.
Yeah.
And you know how you kind of bear your feet down a little bit harder to get a grip, and he done it. And they ate him alive.
Yeah.
Fox News is about the only one on television that has even covered this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I say about karma.
Yeah, it got him.
But yeah, that's I don't think that was the wind. I just think maybe I thought at first his shoe come off, or something.
That could happen.
Got like messed up because he bent down and was like trying to do something with his like.
He just he was 3 times in a row there.
I think he was rubbing his knee. That's what he was doing. Probably hurt. I'm sure those steps are.
So when we see Jill from here on, will he not board Air Force One by himself from here moving forward?
I don't know. That would have been horrible. He'd have took her down with him. And
Yeah.
she'd have been holding on to his arm.
So the games that people play.
I've fallen several times, so I'm not going to try to.
Everybody has.
Yeah, I fell down a hill one time. Like, I landed good.
Dust yourself off, get up, nothing happened.
I had a baby on my hip, was trying to go down a hill at the ball field. And, I looked like I was sliding in the home plate, like one leg forward, one back. It was embarrassing, but I was just glad I didn't roll on that.
If you're not watching where you step, sidewalk cracks if you hit it just right where your shoe will catch it.
Well,
a heel, oh.
I was going into a service station in North Hills one morning to pay for my gas. And I missed the curb. I just hit it. I just missed. I didn't see it altogether. It was just, it blended in. It wasn't painted a different color or anything. I tripped over it, fell. All my stuff went out of my wallet. The woman from the cash register come out from in there. You all right? So embarrassed.
Just my pride hurt.
So, I can fall just like the rest of them.
Everybody can. And no one wants to be made fun of with that. But
it's embarrassing for
it
sure.
It is.
I can imagine being on national television.
Oh, boy. And then they play it over and over.
Right. Yeah.
But I have to say the funniest I've seen
I
is
make fun of myself, though.
the golf ball.
Yeah.
If anybody's seen the meme of the golf ball being hit.
I sent it. Yeah.
The best one yet.
Yeah. That is funny.
You called this weeks ago before it even hit the news media of what was going on. But the cartel, the new drug, is people smuggling with what's going on, promise them to get them across the border, and more people are going to be hurt, raped. We know how this ends.
It's just they're just so, convenient. It's convenient for these people who are trafficking children and stuff. It's just awful. Horrible. I can't even imagine.
More of this is to come.
It makes me sick.
We hadn't heard the last of it as we look at these news stories. And again, you can't blame anybody for wanting to come here. Right. You cannot.
And I think about the Capitol thing that day, how they said that Trump was responsible for this happening because he got all these people together. So does that mean like Biden is responsible for this? I mean,
Well,
I think he is.
Yeah, if you're going to blame the main man that's in charge.
I mean, he definitely told these people to come. If people have died, if they've suffered any kind of a sexual, violations and all this stuff, I mean, to me, it's on his hands.
It is. Which president was it?
They got T-shirts on that say Biden and flags. They said they're flying in their cities with Biden. Who sent those? I mean, do they look like they're?
Yeah, you got a good point.
What?
I had Karen asked me, said that an alarm went off, and I was checking to see in our office, and I assume it was weather related. Mm-hmm. And I was looking at radar here. Let's pull this up to see if there is anything that is going on. We've got down to the south of us. Let me turn this back on. We may have more tornado warnings here in the state of Mississippi coming across. We've got flash flood watch here. South Mississippi. This is a wind advisory that we've been watching. And let's zoom in here of what we got playing here. We got some storms now in Mississippi. Flash flood watch. That's 60 mile an hour. Let's see here. This looks like to be a tornado warning here. This is in Lafayette, Louisiana, which would not fire off in Mississippi. This is until 9:30. Central Lafayette Parish, also southeastern Arcadia, and northeastern Vermilion Parish in Louisiana until 9:30 tornado warning. Let's look at this here. But I do not see anything else. Let's turn on radar where we can see where these storms are right here. This is pretty, and it is coming our way again now. Mm-hmm. It'll be coming up through the Hattiesburg area. We got a storm out here. But right now, that's the only tornado warning we have. Let's go back up.
Does it say how fast moving these are, or is it?
Let's see here. Let's go in and take a look here. This is the chances of this being a very serious storm is radar indicated. It's only at a scale of 1 to 10. Mm-hmm. It's at a 2.5 when it comes to the size of a tornado. So most likely this one is radar indicated. Let's see here, 4,000 foot shear rate on that one is 0. And let's look here. We are moving with these winds at about 60 miles an hour. All right, let's go back, and you wanted to know how fast it was traveling. Let's see here. Moving east at 40 miles an hour is what it is moving at. Okay. So, Miss Mathematical is over here.
I know, I got to. No, well, I was trying to.
All right, as we look at this is here in Mississippi. This is Hattiesburg. Let's zoom in here. Right outside of Macomb, we've got a storm that is producing 70 mile an hour shear winds, 1 mile wide. If you'll zoom in and look at this, this is Macomb. Let's go into where we are. This is the thunderstorm here, and this is the leading edge of it. This is Mars Hill, Mississippi. This location right here is, how do you pronounce that? Tangaphobia? Tangapaho,
or I think.
Yeah, new name to me. If you're, in that area right there, that word there. Mm-hmm. Tangapahoa. Well, that's a tough word.
Tangapahoa.
Right.
A long.
No warning there, but it is a lot of sheer wind with that. Yeah. And let's just double check to make sure that, I was thinking at first maybe they had fired off a watch area here close to us, and I just don't see that. But we'd still have that tornado warning here that we're watching down in Louisiana. Nothing else in the state right now. So we'll watch this. I'll check back on this to make sure that there's nothing new.
So it's probably going to pass below us.
It is most likely. Clark County is what we're looking at. It looks like it's going to cross through. I don't think that is going to make the Meridian area, but we're still an hour or so away from this getting into the area. So we'll watch it.
Yeah, all the wind, you just never know.
Yeah.
You know which way it's going to.
Now, we've got heavy rains north of Meridian right now. Starkville, Mississippi State area, it is pouring down rain. As we turn it on where you can see where Mississippi State University is sitting, right here is where the university is probably within about 3 miles of reaching the hump.
Right around in there, yeah.
That's a lot of rain there. Louisville already getting pounded on with a lot of rain right now. All of this area there from Walmart back on 14 till you get over to the Macon, Mississippi area. All right, we'll check back in on this to make sure that there's nothing else happening. We're going to watch this because we got some back building storms here that could spell trouble for us a little later on. All of this area here. We want to watch that as it comes across through here. So that's what's on the agenda for today. We do have some thunderstorm activity going on there. So I'll try to watch that as we do some other things too. Let's see here.
Get out in that mess.
Oh, I know.
I just hate it.
It's going to mess your hair up. I hate to tell you that.
I'm worried about my hair. Look, I shouldn't have wore these open-toed shoes today. I should have wore some rain boots or something.
They open-toed. And I hate to tell you, white breeches, you're going to get them. There is nothing like rain.
I shouldn't have worn white.
Because
this was not a well-thought-out day. I'm just glad to be here and glad to be alive today.
But you know how it is if you have your car, after it rains, it gets all that smut on the side of it, and you go to open up your door, and at some point, your britches are going to touch the side of your car trying to get in it.
And I cleaned my inside of my car out yesterday. I ran it through the car wash. Then I got home and took out all my floor mats and scrubbed them and cleaned them. Why? I don't know, because today it's going to be a nasty mess.
Well, there's just certain times you can't take it no more.
I know. And
you got to have it clean.
That was the day I was like, I can't take this.
Let's see. Good morning to Jason Sharp. We appreciate old Jason watching this morning up in Philadelphia area there in Neshoba County. Wayne Hemingway. How you doing, Mr. Wayne? Thank you for watching. We appreciate it. Iron Hillman. Howdy, y'all. Also to Jetta. Newsmax covered him falling. They were on it. So that's two networks that covered it. But I bet you're not going to see a lot of that on CBS, NBC, and those networks. The big three, as they're called.
They'll probably say there was an earthquake or something.
Yeah.
Shook the ground.
And as Carolyn said, the cartel's paying good money for these people. And Damon mentioned what we were talking about on the leg of the guy that done the shooting that was blood.
Okay.
So, and I have to admit, I did not see it live. I was busy with something else, and I did not get to watch it live when they broke with the story of what was going on with that.
What did Miss Linda Jane say? They don't have a garden anymore because I had a snake slide over my foot. And
I bet you ran faster than anybody. You could have won a marathon there. She could have been in the Olympics.
I'm gonna tell you what, I don't like snakes. We've already let that be known, but I have never until last year seen rattlesnakes on our property, and we killed 2 on our property.
So that means there'll be more this year.
I hope not. It scares me to death. So we're gonna have a little garden, but nothing that I can't see the ground around me.
So that's some thoughts going on here. There was a lot of talk of this when Trump left office, and he confirmed yesterday that he did leave a letter for Joe. Mm-hmm. It was 2 pages long. He said, I wished him well because I want the country to do well. And I do believe that. Mm-hmm. He may not like Joe, but he does want America to do its very best.
Yes.
It doesn't go into any detail of what was inside the letter, but we now know that he did do it. Because Trump broke a few of those old traditions of what they call tradition.
Yeah, he did.
Dan Bonagino said it best the other day. He said, 2021 moving forward, he said, throw all of these, what used to be standard, out the window. He goes, we have new problems, get rid of it, face the problems that we have now.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Well, if all else fails with this administration that's in there right now, it just seems like if all else fails, blame Trump,
Yeah.
Blame Trump. It's his fault. I mean, all this immigration, it drives me insane when I hear them say, that we come into a broken system. Really?
Yeah.
No, it was not broken. You broke it. This mess has been caused by this administration.
It's going to be
all these executive orders that they put into place.
It's going to take some time to clear all this up.
It really is. It's going to be a mess because I don't see Joe Biden being in there for the next 4 years.
I did hear this yesterday, and I didn't know the timeline. And they will do this. He has to be in there 1 year. She could take over his term after 1 year and then still run for 2 more terms.
Really?
Yeah. So now if he bails out before a year, she could only do 1 more term. But if he makes it a year, she could fulfill his and then run twice.
Well, I think her being in there is going to be even bigger of a disaster.
It is.
Because
they're trying to protect his image at this point,
right,
where they don't go too far left. Because, now, is she calling the shots?
Well, even though she has her mind, when she gets in front of a camera, she can't say anything. She runs in circles. She don't answer any questions.
She got to circle back.
Right. She never answers questions. She didn't get. You don't know anymore when you finish, an interview with her that as far as what I've seen.
I'm thinking you'd make pretty good press conference secretary up there in the White House.
I think so too.
I can see you with a stick. If somebody asks a question wrong, you go pop them in the hand. Don't ask that again.
I'd be like that other one. I'd have my little book and I'd have it all laid out.
Fact check.
I would do my studying before I got up there.
I can't imagine the amount of studying that Kaylee McElhaney went through each day.
This one I don't think looks at anything. And then she gets aggravated when they ask her questions. Well, that's what you're there for. Is to answer questions.
Sean, and let's be honest, Sean Spicer never needed to be there. That poor man, that was not his forte in life. I felt his pain. Mm-hmm. He couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm. I don't know where they picked this one up that they've got now on there, but Sarah
Huckabee was good,
yes.
but I think the next little girl was even better than Sarah. She handled it a little bit different. McElhaney.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She was the best to me. I mean,
because Sarah was a no nonsense type person, a very like your mama.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna give you the eye.
They bashed her though. I mean, constantly. They made fun of her.
Talked about her weight. When was that ever allowed to make fun of a woman's weight on national television? When?
It's just yeah.
She can't help it. She's like me. She likes to eat a biscuit or two, and there ain't nothing wrong with it.
Well, some people, I mean, are just their genetic makeup
world
is
cannot be full of skinny people.
Right.
And I'm a representative of the big old boys.
Well, some people are just, I mean, they're just not, their genetic physical makeup is not to be skinny.
True.
I mean, there ain't nothing wrong with that. So, anyway.
So, I'm off of that now. I had to say that. Let's see here. What's going on here? This is not the United States, but this is, we're using, which drugs is it that you named to me earlier?
Pfizer, Moderna. I think it's Moderna is how you pronounce that. And Johnson & Johnson. That's the three I know of.
Now, Britain, they must be using a different version of this because, and again, this is not proven. Mm-hmm. This is what Britons are saying is happening. They're claiming out there that they're losing their teeth. They have huge headaches after taking the vaccine. And again, we don't know whether this is true or not, but this is things that people are reporting, and it could have happened anyway. You know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
They may have come down with this crying, just compulsive crying. Who would hold their breath?
I don't know.
That's what they're saying.
It says flatulence. You know what that is?
No, I've never.
Gas.
Oh.
Like they can't hold having,
why did they say that? I don't
Yeah.
guess I've ever used that term in my life.
Yeah.
You ain't got it, do you?
No, I don't.
Okay. And Sophie,
Thank
who is
God.
sitting behind us, is okay.
Yeah, she's okay. But yeah, I've never heard of any of that.
How do you pronounce that word again?
Flatulence.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to remember that. I'm going to use that somewhere. I've learned a new word, flatulence.
Holding your breath, though, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Crying. Well, I don't need no help there.
Weight loss now, that might what everybody
Well,
wants.
there'll be people taking that. But it's from all that flatulence. They lose them.
Yeah, and blinking. They say that it could cause blinking. And again, that's just people, and that's a different type drug than we're taking in the United States.
He looks like he's winking. He don't look like he's blinking.
So, bless their hearts. I hope they get over it.
Well, I mean, AstraZeneca is a company that produces drugs in the United States, too. So, it could be one out there by them. I don't know. I've just not heard it. So,
hadn't been in the top three that's been pushed down our, said over and over and over.
Right.
This is neat, but it isn't going to do us Mississippians one iota worth of good because you know what? There ain't no Krispy Kreme around. Mm-hmm. If there was, we'd all put on 5 pounds extra a day.
They're in the grocery store. So.
Yeah, but they're a day old.
So. We don't have a Krispy Kreme.
Nope. Tuscaloosa is the closest Krispy Kreme hot glazed donut. Golly, they're good.
Well, we have this man who comes around. I think he sells them for maybe a church or something. He also sells boiled peanuts, and they're the best.
Now, those are good because you get them that same day when they come in. They're fresh.
Still warm sometimes. But anyway, he comes around selling boxes of those Krispy Kreme donuts.
Well worth it. But they'll give you a free donut if you show them your vaccination card. Mm-hmm. Didn't you say through December?
Through the end of the year, is what it says.
So if you're in the Tuskegee area, next time you're shopping there, you go in. You ain't going to get it nowhere around here, though.
I don't think the Winn-Dixie's going to give you some free
open up the cart.
Krispy Kreme.
I've been in the grocery store and fallen for that and buy a pack of them, and they're not fresh.
If you heat them up.
No, it ain't the same. It ain't the same.
Well, Lee's Donuts. They got some good donuts.
But it ain't
the
the same as Krispy Kreme. I'm just going. I cannot tell a lie.
They kind of like air, just like a fluffy cloud, like you bite.
Yeah, that cloud ain't as good as their cloud. No offense to y'all.
Yeah,
but
I just don't need a donut. I'm just gonna tell you.
And then we got the new one that the Shipley's in the other part
yeah,
of town.
they're good too. I've gotten theirs, and they have those little. They're kind of like pig in a blanket. They call them something. I can't remember.
Donkeys in a blanket?
No, they call them something. It's a weird name, but anyway, it's like a pig in a blanket. It's good.
Oh! I know what you're talking. Like a hot dog.
Yeah, but it's called. What is that called? Somebody. I know it. It's on the tip of my tongue. I know what I'm talking about.
Back when I had a job, a few of the guys used to like that, and it's got a different name for it.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't think of it at the second.
Anyway, they've got a little array of different things at Krispy Kreme. I mean, not Krispy Kreme. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Shipley's.
Okay. Carolyn Knight
Shipley's
just said,
is really
I
good.
stand corrected. We could drive to Columbus. Mississippi has a Krispy Kreme.
Oh, okay.
How could Meridian, Mississippi not have a Krispy Kreme? Really? Look here. A third job for you.
No, I don't need a third job. I have a third job. That's at home. That's my first job. Lord.
Kathy Bound says there is a vaccine made by the company you just mentioned that I can't pronounce.
AstraZeneca.
Yeah, but not approved by the
Seneca.
U.S.
Yeah.
And that might be why they're having their issues over there. I don't know. But they have one or two.
Yeah, I don't think I want to take a chance on losing my teeth.
No, that would not be
or
good.
Flatulence. Weight I could stand to lose.
But the rest of it you have to do without.
I could blink a little bit.
Oh.
That ain't bother me.
Well, I think we could.
My gas.
Why didn't they just say gas instead of using that word?
Oh, goodness.
Do you remember the episode of Little House on the Prairie where she read the book, Mrs. Olson, and the vapors, and she didn't know what the vapors meant, which also means gas, and she went to Doc Baker, and he told her, yeah, you've got it, it's gas, and she was so got off with about that. I wanted to say, and let me see here if I can find this. The police department's going to be doing something. That's not the right. I was looking. I think something to do with the program with kids, and I was trying to find that. See if I can find that. And I'm going to see. No, I'm not finding the story off the top. Let me look for the Meridian Police Department and see if they've got it. I don't want to call the name up because I'm afraid I'll say it wrong. But I think that's coming. Nope, can't find it real quick there. I'll have to get in touch with Chris. So if anybody knows Chris, get him to text me some information there, and we'll pass that along to everybody.
Has anybody been by the Children's Museum thing?
It's getting ready to
right
go.
by there. I mean, it's looking like it's coming right along. It's
There's your word.
Kolaches.
Kolaches.
Yeah. I think that's.
Now, I'm not a big fan.
That's those.
I'd rather have a hot
those
dog.
Are good. Well, those are good. I mean, for like a breakfast thing, they're really good. I was trying to read another thing. Somebody said their friend in Germany says AstraZeneca is the company that they're using for the vaccine.
Lots of problems.
Mm.
So, at least we got the right stuff. Donald did do a good job of heading us in the right direction. I did not realize this at all. But do y'all remember the Boston bomber, the guy that the pressure cooker thing?
It was he and a brother. I think it was two brothers that did that.
I want to say one died, but he was sentenced to die. And I had no idea that a lower court had come in and took that away. It is now headed back to the Supreme Court to try to reinstate the death penalty. Mm-hmm. When did this happen? I did not realize it.
I don't know.
That's
crazy.
This guy deserves that.
Right.
And, of course, there's Biden, Joe, trying to say he wants to do with the death penalty altogether, do away with it. So that means no matter what you do, it's going to be more crime.
Well, yeah, and not to mention they're going to sit on,
death row
prison.
forever.
Well, they won't be on death row if there's, no death penalty. But I don't guess.
No, it would be, but we pay for them forever.
But yeah, they'd be in there playing basketball, eating meals.
And then what happens next? They get overcrowded and they go, we need to let a few more people out. Mm-hmm. Murder, just one? Oh, go on back to the street.
Not to mention they'll get their stimulus check.
Correct. We got a mess happening. Somebody, and there's only one way to fix it. There's one way to fix this. The next election, have good people run for office and the people back them. That's the only way to fix this.
Well, I think there'll be no question come the next election if somebody goes into office again. I don't think there'll be a question as to fraud. I don't believe.
Well, it boils down to,
because there's no way
you get into the chance of cheating when it comes to mail-in ballots. It has always been in the United States, and we have got to set up nationwide, each state, this on federal elections.
Yeah.
Now, your local elections, do what you want, but when it's a state office, a federal office, I think there needs to be one rule all across the board, so each state can't make up their own rule at the last second and change it.
Right. That does need to be something that's a national level thing.
Yeah, if you can't, the mail-in voting changed everything this time. Used to, you had to show up in person.
It's too much. It gives too much room for fraud.
Yeah.
Because you don't know. I mean, and I think, like you said, that needs to be a fingerprint or some kind of something that identifies somebody. But
what they claim then is you're trying to racially profile people. That is your thumbprint. Each individual is different. When you vote, there's nothing wrong with taking your fingerprint and going, I voted.
If I'm not mistaken, in this bill they just passed, though, did it not push through that you don't have to have an ID to vote?
Yep, sure did.
I mean, it's kind of like
free for all. Now, here's a mess, and you're probably going to hear a lot about this in the news. This is just sort of breaking. Now, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. There's nothing wrong with having a Facebook group that only, if you're not a member of it, you can't see it. Yeah. What happens is when information gets on there and somebody cracks it or sees somebody who is a member of it and then goes to the press. Cops, again, this is going to be rough. Pittsburgh police call Black Lives Matter protesters terrorists, thugs. They're going to be going after these police officers, and we all know that. This is the guy that started it. He was an admin on it, one of the police officers. They will probably not stop until each and every one of them are fired.
Yeah.
It's coming. We all know it. But you'll hear more about this in the news. It's coming. So,
well, I'm sure it was probably, you know how they fact check you?
Yeah.
I'm sure they can break into your stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And look at
Yeah,
anything,
absolutely.
so.
Let's see here. You ever bought a house and not known there was something in it? This is a pretty neat story here.
I thought you was going to say, have you ever bought a house and not known it? Like somebody,
well,
that is like, I mean, people are stealing people's
identity and credit.
And they're selling their homes and stuff out from under them.
And then you wake up one morning and don't own anything.
Right. It's scary.
Not good.
Anyway.
But this lady found a bomb shelter hidden in her house, back during the scare in the 60s and 50s of the Cold War, where you go. And you go down through this. It was hidden in a bedroom. You pull it up like a manhole in the bedroom. And this is what was down there. See how that was sitting there?
Yeah.
And you go down in there. That's pretty neat. And they just found a rusty old underneath there.
I'm glad they had that one day.
Yeah, that'd be handy to have in your house.
Yeah.
But that was what was down there below it. Not everybody has one of those.
No, they don't. I was just telling Scotty Ray that there's a company online who builds underground bunkers. That's what they do. I mean, there was one that had like, they had the bedrooms, bathrooms, a full kitchen. Everything was like solar powered. They had stuff. And then there was a room with raised garden bed things where you could put pot and soil or top or whatever in it. Had the grow lights, Of course, I'm sure some people might be growing something else. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, like if you had to live underground and you had to grow your own food, it was really, really neat. I'm sure they cost a pretty penny.
The movie that Brandon Fraser was in some years ago, to where it was during the nuclear thing, and his daddy was a scientist and had built one of those underneath their house. And they went underground for like 20, 30 years, and he comes out to go get supplies.
I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember.
Golly, that was a good show.
Yeah, they had lived underground all those years.
Yeah.
That
was very funny.
Scared of something was fixing to happen,
Yeah, and then their neighborhood turned into the hood.
Yeah.
With gangs and everything where they come. Oh, that was funny.
But, I mean, it would be neat to come up on that.
Yeah. Now, I've never tested this next story, but a lady got a DUI in the line at a McDonald's, and this was in Florida. And I really don't know that. I guess you can do this because I've been in line, and when I was in high school, I worked at Taylor's Pack-a-Sack with Miss Nail, and I worked at Bailey's Grocery. And women will whoop out money right up there amongst them bosoms and come out with money tucked down in their brassiere.
Yeah, that ain't my hiding place for money. It'd be my purse.
But this story, this woman had 8 miniature bottles of vodka stuffed down in her brassiere.
Oh, my Lord.
I mean, 8 bottles
I
is
ain't got room for 8 bottles of Scotty.
Well, she did.
Lord.
8
Look,
bottles.
I don't know if she's sad.
She don't
'Cause
look
they took
happy.
her vodka.
But that's the McDonald's she was at. But 8 of them. I mean, that's a good bit
Yeah,
there.
you got it. You do have a drinking problem. You got 8 bottles of vodka stuck in your bra.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least
Isn't
you
that
had a bra on.
There's a lot that don't.
Yeah.
Is it Midland had that song out, Drinking Problem? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was a real good song. Actually, a country song. If you were a big fan of Ace Ventura, now personally, I don't like this guy. He's a little vulgar for me. What's his name?
Jim Carrey.
Yeah, he's vulgar to me. The only show that I think he ever really done great in was where he played the lawyer and he couldn't lie for his son.
Yeah.
I don't remember the Liar, maybe that was the name of it.
Liar, liar.
But that was a pretty good show. It had a good
Yeah.
moral value to it, but I am just not a fan of Ace Ventura. Y'all may love it and think it's the funniest thing you ever watched.
He's just, I mean, these movies are just goofy.
Goofy and...
Y'all, I am fighting back yawns this morning. I am so sorry.
gonna
I've
have
been
to
like
get you-
fighting. I'm going to have me a coffee pot sitting right here.
We got one right over there. Let's see.
Like, I'm serious. Like, it just hits me. I don't know if you yawn one
See
time.
the coffee pot over there?
I got my umbrella sitting there. If you yawn once, though, it's like you continue. It's like a...
Oh, it's contagious.
Yes. It's like you can't stop. Anyway, back to the movie. I watched the movies that they had, the Ace Ventura Pet Detective or something. And it was funny because it was so stupid. It was funny.
Almost like Dumb and
Well,
Dumber.
I hate to say stupid, but it was so, like, goofy.
It was goofy.
It was funny at times. But I can't see a third one,
They're going for it.
you know.
Yeah, and Angie will tell you my humor. I sometimes don't get that stupid stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'll sit there and she'll think it's funny. I'll just look at her like, no, that
Yeah.
didn't trick my trigger. But I'm a little different. But he's not my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Does everybody remember? And I know this town very well because I did a job there 11 years ago. As you go down to Pearl River, Louisiana, do y'all remember the story of the priest that got arrested for having sex at the... There's no other way to
It was
candy
somebody
coat this.
videoing it through the window.
Yeah.
Is that what and they burned the altar. Or
Yeah.
something, took it out.
The,
Or did they were going to take
they
it out?
removed it out and burned it
Yeah.
because of the... But the priest had hired more or less two how do you say that word?
Dominatrix.
And what that translates to, folks, is women with whips.
Yeah.
Is what that is. They most of them, I think, I've heard tell, not that I know anything about it,
Yeah.
wear leather and come in and beat on you with a big whip.
Yeah.
And apparently he liked that, and they were videoing it inside the church at the altar. So the guy that's what you would call, like in the Methodist, your district man that falls under his churches, came in, they removed the altar, had a new one built, burned it. They have now reduced the charges against all 3 of them to just vandalism. There's absolutely nothing going to happen to them. This is the priest here that was there. These are the 2 leather-toting whip girls, best I know how to describe them. And that was him in his priest outfit. Well, he's no longer a priest. That's kind of scary, isn't it?
I wonder what his new job's going to be.
I don't know. That's them in jail. And now one of the ladies are suing because she can't work. And she's suing because they took her equipment. She's got mental distress and she has to stay in bed nowadays and can't perform her duties of a dominatrix.
How much equipment do you need? I mean, really? Like,
I don't know.
I would like be.
If anybody answers that, I'm telling on you.
Yeah, y'all took her equipment. Okay.
Yeah. I'm calling somebody's wife and say, your husband knows way too much information about this. Oh, let's see. Linda
Lord.
Payne, good morning. Thank you for watching. Garrett Hurd, thirsty. Let's see here. I was making sure we didn't miss anything up there. Let's see here. There's another story or two that I wanted to share. This right here, you know how you think to the future. I'll make it quick because I know you got some other things that everybody needs to do. Of what do you think of when it comes to the future? They put together some snapshots from 1900 of what people thought it would be like 100 plus years from there. And they drew these drawings back at 1900 that you could be balloon supported and walk on water with like a ski across the water. Of course, they didn't have jet skis and stuff back then either.
Yeah. But they do have those things you stand on with the little stick thing. What do you call that? I don't even know. It's kind of like a little, like you're standing on a, what is it, like a surfboard, and you got
a hoverboard?
No, it's a surfboard looking thing you're standing on in the water, and you can like push yourself around with a stick. I don't know. They do have those.
Huh. I never seen, but I don't water ski, so.
Yeah, I don't either, but I know they have those. I just don't know what they're called.
They thought that NASA would already have cities built in space where you could go live. I guess they're trying to do that. That's what they thought in 1956, they thought phones would look like that.
Well, no, they kind of did look like that.
For a while. They were fat.
Mm-hmm.
And
they didn't go far enough into the future.
1960, they thought you'd have self-driving cars where everybody could turn around and play board games. We're close to that.
You do have self-driving cars.
Yeah.
So.
Let's see here. Underground cities. Now, this is probably the best that somebody done. Y'all remember the Viewmaster as a kid?
Uh-huh.
The maps of putting in the Viewmaster where it would show the city streets where you wouldn't have to look at that. And now look where we are.
Yeah, it's kind of like a little navigation thing.
That was their idea in 1930 of what looking at your phone with a picture would be. Mm-hmm. Interesting to step back in time to see what people think the future would look like.
With headphones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
They were pretty accurate, you know.
Yeah, and we all thought it was going to end with Y2K. Y'all remember that?
I wish somebody'd draw what the future's going to look like from here on.
Would you really want to know the future?
I don't know.
Or would it drive you crazy? Who remembers the movie
I
The
would
Dead?
not want to know, like, if somebody could tell me you're going to die on this day. I wouldn't want to know
You'd
that.
worry.
I wouldn't want to know that.
But the movie The Dead Zone really played into that. The guy that was in the car wreck, and he wakes up and he's got this gift to where if he touches you, he can see what you're thinking and what the future is going to be.
Yeah.
And it drove him nuts. He couldn't handle it.
Oh, yeah.
He tried to correct everything he could. And interesting thought on life. Right now, only one knows that, and that's Jesus.
That's right.
I don't think any of us would really want to know that date.
No, I would not want to know that date. But it's neat to see, like, you know, what you think different things would be like. Not like days that people would pass away or things like that would happen, but just like phones and, you know.
Technology of what's coming. Right. Your great-grandchildren from now will wonder how we ever made it through this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I promise you they will. Well, the farm supply is open this morning, and they're taking care of business. If you're out and about wanting some chickens today, little baby chicks is what they do, and they're all vaccinated, ready to go home with you for your own eggs. Neat. We were down looking at our chickens earlier this morning. As we look at the decor that you can get for outside, the fountains are in. If you need a fountain for your yard, right there in the middle. I know it blends in with the chickens, but it's there, and they got a bunch of them.
Yeah, you'd have chickens up in your fountain.
That's right. If you need a peacock for your yard, they got that for you at the Farm Supply, along with flying pigs. Now, not everybody in the neighborhood has got one.
Yeah.
Or a big white chicken. Or a birdhouse.
Those are cute.
Yeah, I think Angie's got one of these.
She does. She has one right out by the sidewalk. I love birdhouses, though. We have birds built in ours every year.
Maybe you need yourself a goat or a sheep. They got those also. It's
wind
just
chimes
plenty.
Too. They have the wind chimes. I have a set of wind chimes I got for Christmas, and I'm so ready to put them up. I'm just scared the wind is going to tear them up.
Well, they'd be loud today.
Well, they're supposed to sound like the song Amazing Grace.
Really? I have to video that for me.
I will, because they're supposed to somehow make the tune of Amazing Grace when they play.
Didn't know that existed.
I know.
Folks, if you need plants, flowers, they got them from bedding to shrubs, all of this for you at the Lauderdale County Farm Supply. Plenty to choose from. They're all over it. They got people that just water things, making sure it's going to grow and look pretty for you. Also, as we go through here, spring, look at those purple. That's pretty.
Yes.
Hanging plants, if you need that, a fern, that's gorgeous. And, of course, fruit trees, any type of plant that you might need for that. Sod, all of that, get it delivered there and take care of it, back your truck up, they'll load you up. If you need insecticides or fertilizer, did I say it right?
Insecticides,
okay.
like insect.
What she said.
Insecticides.
But I promise you, if you say it the way I do, they're going to take care of you at the counter.
They are.
They pronounce it the same way as I do.
They'll know what you're talking about.
As we go through here, disinfectant, boots. We've got, of course, all of your seed and fertilizer that you may need in taking care of your horse and cattle. Guns and a whole lot more. The Lauderdale County Farm Supply, exit 151 off that interstate. They will help you. Now, let's go back real quick here and take a look at the radar of what we've got going on out to our west. Let's look at this together as we pull up radar. Let's turn off our location so you can see a little bit better. Let's zoom in down the Baton Rouge area. Severe thunderstorm warning, no tornado warnings. Lafayette, there is a severe thunderstorm warning. As we go across here, we're getting shear winds right inside the state of Mississippi. This is going to be let's see here. This is going to be affecting Macomb within the next 32 minutes. The storm will be on you. This area right here, let me click on here. This is Gillsburg, Mississippi. And we got some shear winds mixed in with this. I'm trying to separate the two. I cannot get to the shear winds on top of it. But it's somewhere around 60 mile an hour shear winds mixed in with this storm. And if you'll look at the arrow, let's look at this where this is headed. As you back out within the next hour, you've got Meridian sitting right here. And as you will see here as we do our tool there, if you just follow along, that could come through the Meridian area if it stays on its current path. As you back out and you look down here, see these storms here most likely will drift up through the Clark County area and up through here. So y'all be ready in here today. Again, our biggest weather threat is going to be Thursday, tornadic activity. I will be on this on top of the weather to let you know what happens.
And we hope to goodness it doesn't get bad.
Yeah.
You know.
So
A
little longer today than we normally go. Sorry about that. We had a lot to talk about. We got it all out.
Yeah. We get sidetracked.
It's easy.
Usually it's my fault.
Everything's good today. We want to say, again, thank you for joining us. As always, we'll be here to track the weather street by street. If you wouldn't mind, tell a friend, share it, invite people, and follow the page so you'll be up to date with the very latest when it comes to weather, and you'll be informed, know where it is.
That's right.
All right. Anything you want to say before we leave?
Just everybody be careful and be safe on the roads, and just have a great day and
all right,
and be blessed.
All right, we'll see you back bright and early tomorrow, and I'll probably be back this afternoon at some point as we move along on this Tuesday morning.
Scotty Ray's Weather is brought to you by